Okay, this is going to be feeding time. I got to adjust this a little bit. Hang with me just a second. I'm going to pull this up, crank it up a little bit, and I got to get it looser. Okay, this is a video of feeding the fish, and the fish in this case are cherry barbs. I don't see a Cory catfish. Now, they're really not catfish, but people call them Cory catfish for a reason. I'm not going to get into that, and I got to get down here and get away from that light. Okay. Now, the reason that this is cloudy, there is silicone that is suspended in the air where the Corys go along and dig in the sand, and they habitually live on the bottom. They work the bottom, and I'm going to, this is yellow squash that I have, they call it blanching, I call it boiling, and makes it soft, makes it where it separates well, and then the fish can eat it better. And there is a glob. They'll come up, get some of it, bang it around, do whatever. I don't think they're really hungry. But what parts they don't get off the bottom, and they're not much of a I don't know if you can see that Cory over there to the right. At any rate, they will come to get the fibers. They are cherry barbs. The colorful ones are the males, and the those that are not so colorful are females, kind of like birds. The bird is the male is the colorful part, and the female is kind of plain. At any rate, these are pretty. If you look at like this one up here, she has a red anal fin, and they'll get bigger than what they are, but not by much. Not I've got some swordtails on the aquarium above, and they're quite large now. I've got some guppies that are pretty good size. But at any rate, these are all cherry barbs. That's old. He's getting in the food. Yeah, he is. That's good. They are bottom feeders, as I said. They don't go up much. They will go up and get air. They're terrible about doing it because it makes a splashing noise when it does it. And I got 26 from a friend who raises them, and when I got home, I've got a loach that's in here that is exclusively reclusive. He don't like to be, or she don't like to be looked at, period. And they are nocturnal animals. They come out and feed at night. The Corys are really nocturnal. They'll do whatever they do, whenever they do whatever they do. But at any rate, I'm gonna give another shot to the fishies, and I feed, most of the time I feed vegetable, and I may give some planks, I may give some bug bites, just different ones to let them have a variety. But it's a good thing in a way to let them have what they have on a regular basis, so that they become accustomed to having something and they're not favoring something else. and they do favor the some of the stinky food. It's got, I think it's got shrimp in it that makes it smell bad, but it's dried, and flakes, and I don't like flakes. But I'm wondering where my fish are, because I've got 3 more. Here's one of them over here. Looks like he's sleeping. Maybe he's tired of the sun shining on him like he thinks it is. But at any rate, give them a little bit more and let them do what they do. They're pretty. I like watching them. And my idea for this channel was to let children have something to watch other than playing games, you know, or whatever stuff. And that too. And then I got into thinking. I majored in elementary education, and then I got a degree in when I found out what elementary teachers made per year in Texas. It was kind of sad. But the thinking was, well, you can teach for the 9 months or whatever, then you can go and work construction or something like that and make money that will supplement what you're being paid for teaching. Then the hours, because most principals and superintendents of a school require that a teacher has a lesson plan every day for every subject and stick to the curriculum. Don't deviate from the curriculum. That's a rule that's spoken. It's not just a but anyway, with the regimentation, with all that came from, and me realizing what I got from school, because like math, nobody explained to me what 4 times 4 meant. And I guess they thought, well, he's not stupid, therefore he'll realize that 4 is 4 times, so it's 16. 4, 4, 4, and 4 added together. Well, what about subtraction? Well, that's addition of positive and negative numbers. And addition, naturally, is positive numbers added. Hey, there's a loach right there. Look at that little dude. Isn't that pretty? And he's different. And he's hunting for food. Oh, he got some. Rip that. Boy, look at him go. He's working that dude over. Ha ha ha. I'm enthusiastic about his living now. And by himself, I'm going to see if I can get more. But I've got to get with my friend and see if he's raising them or how I got to have him. Because when I got home, I had him. Didn't know I had him. And so, do a little more. Do a little more. But you can see it's fibers. And that's what vegetables are made from, fibers. So when they talk about fiber in your cereals and whatever, that's the fibers that are in the grains that make up the grains. And that's another thing I didn't know. At any rate, back to the math. If you take a number line across, draw a line down through it, have negative numbers on the left side and positive numbers on the right side, there's your addition pattern for negative numbers and positive numbers. So that you can take 7 on the right and a 2, 1, 2 on the left and add them. And that's 7 minus 2, because the 2 is a negative. And that leaves 5. Well, in math, they call it takeaways. And wow, there you can see what I mean about him shooting up to the surface. And there's all 3 of them. I think there's 3. There may be more. I had 3 and 3 on the left over here, and you can see he's got a kind of spiny looking nose, a needle. I call it a needle nose. And I'm going to do some more and let him possibly get some more feed. I'm talking just what the stuff is and let you watch, let everybody. And I'm going to put quite a bit in this time and go from there. I'm going to make a video. I've got 10 aquariums. And there are harlequin barbs on the left in the big tank up above, 2 swordtails, a platy, and I think I've got 4 Corys and 1 autosynclus. And I need the autosynclus because this plant right here is real bad about getting hair algae on it. The green algae is normal. The hair algae is not normal. It comes, I don't know where it comes from, but anyway, the autocyclus will tear off the hair algae and eat it. So I need to do that. This thing grew, and one branch came over here, came back around and almost touched that plant. And I took a pair of scissors and whacked it, and I got 5 pieces. One of them is right there, and it doesn't look like it's standing very well, so it may not make it. But at any rate, I stuck it in the ground, in the sand, and you can't see it very well, but below this sand is dirt. I got out of the yard, and what it's supposed to be, they call it the Wallstead method. It's supposed to be about a 1/2 inch of dirt, soil, and some mixture of potting, I don't know, whatever. I don't like it because it floats out. So, at any rate, I learned a lot. When I finally get out of this house, and I hope to do this next year, I got to find some land. That's going to be difficult so far. And then I've got a veterans, I'm looking at these fish, a veterans benefit of a loan that is a government loan, and it is cheaper, less expensive, less interest, and whatever. And so I'm going to build a house, and I'm going to build a garage, 2-car garage, and I'm going to have a fish room, and I hope to have several aquariums in that fish room. Boy, look at that gas leak. There's where some of that silicone is coming from. That happens from time to time because the soil does have oxygen in it, and it will expel it. And the oxygen comes up like that just did in bubbles and makes go after that, you dog. I got my beta over here on the left. Only one beta. I had 6, 2 males and 4 females, and one of the males died. Then at different times, all 4 of the females died. And I think what it was, they don't live very long. Maybe 4, 5, 6 years, at the very most 7. And that is probably what it was. He was the youngest of the bunch. He was immature. He's skittish. Now, first of all, they were called Siamese fighting fish because they fought them over in Asia, and they will fight to the death. And the people would bet on this one or that one is like dog fighting, which I think is abhorrent, but that's, you know, it's against the, well, it's illegal here in Texas. That's one good thing, I guess you'd say. At any rate, he is by himself, can't be with any other fish to speak of. Now, if they got fish that will run away from him, you know, that's he'll tolerate that. But if anything is aggressive toward him, he will rip into them, and he won't stop. So that's just a death warrant for almost any fish that you would put in there, because almost all fish at some time are more or less protective of what they consider their territory. But anyway, the schooling fish school because when they're in the ocean or wherever, they get into a ball of fish swimming, and the outer ones are the ones that are preyed upon. The inner ones are safe. So the bigger ones go to the middle, and the little smaller ones are outside. In some cases, I believe. That may not be, whatever. But at any rate, the schooling fish, now some of them are just social. These Corys, they're social. They don't like to be alone. And as I was going to tell you, I had 3 in this last tank over here. It's a 10-gallon tank, but I've divided it into 2. And the 3 in the left side of that tank were making noise. They were hitting the surface, and I didn't think much of it. And then I came in here, and my computer is behind me now. It's on the opposite wall away from the aquariums. And I looked back and I saw 6 Corys in the right side tank. And went to look, and now there's 7. And looked in the left tank, there's no Corys in that tank. They jumped over the partition, got a glass partition. They jumped over the partition and got into the tank with the other ones and stopped hitting the water surface. So they were getting out of what they didn't want to be in. And you can call that cognition or whatever, but evidently they reasoned they didn't want to be there, and they got out. Animals, and I've had animals. I've had cattle, I've had pigs, I've had horses, chickens, ducks, geese, and they are not by any means what you would call low in intelligence. They're not highly intelligent. I think some are. Some can be extremely intelligent. I had a Brahma bull that was huge. Dude weighed, I think, 2,800 pounds. And he was gentle as can be. But under stress, he would go as far away as he could get from stress. Now, another bull bothering him, and he'd whoop him. He'd boo, bad news. But when he felt threatened by humans, by whatever the situation was, didn't like dogs, did not care for dogs whatsoever. And he would move away from them. If they chased him, he'd kill them. If he could get them where he could, I buried a lot of dogs on my farm. At any rate, the problem with having animals is like this. I can't go anywhere. I can put a feeder up, and that's all well and good for those animals that come up to the top to feed. It's not good for the Corys and the loach at all. They don't feed off the top. they don't go up and get the flakes like the smaller fish will. I'm trying to think. The tiger barbs are good about. I've got a gold molly, and she does not like to go down to the bottom and get food. Just sometimes I think she just won't do it. Period. Just obstinate. And then I've got swordtails that you can put all you want to up on the surface. They'll bang into it and knock it around and knock it all over the aquarium, which feeds the other fish. And I've got red eye barbs in the center compartment, and then harlequin barbs in the right compartment, and the Molly and her one baby. And I don't know if she only had one. I had a tiger barb in with her, and he was aggressive, so he may have done away with them. But at any rate, I've got one with her, and I'm going to transfer the two swordtails out of the right side along with the molly that's up there, and leave it for the harlequin barbs and let them breed. They're egg layers, so they'll lay eggs on the plants that are there, hopefully. And I've got to get into conditioning the fish and learning how to manage them so that they will reproduce. I'm going to drop some more food in the tank here. Yep, as a seed. They don't like seeds much, and I don't know anybody is familiar with eating zucchini and squash and whatever, but I feed zucchini, squash, and yellow squash at least 4 times a week, and I got a lot in there that time, but they're eating it pretty well. My beta has food down on the surface now. He's not going to get down to get it. He's obstinate too, but I'm going to have to put a filter in with him and clean up the debris that's on the surface of the ground, and it has a watering mechanism in it that blows stuff around and then it picks it up. It's a 3-stage filter, a blue one on the bottom, a yellow one in the middle, and a black one on the top of the inner cylinder. The bottom one has a pump on the top bringing water up through the cylinder and then out through that. I'll make a video of that, and it's a lot of stuff you can get from Temu. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's cheap, and some of it is shipped in. They pay duty and whatever, but it's really there's lots of things that you can get on there, but it's all made in China. So you can get quality to some degree, but to some degree not. And I've done a lot. This little filter that's over here, that's $4, and here in America that due to be about $16 to $20. And I've got one in each of the aquariums, and it's a small filter. It doesn't do much as far as filtering goes, but it provides air. And with the plants that I have, this tank has enough plants in it. When I get all this silicone, you can up on the plants, the dirtiness of it and whatever. I'm not going to do that, but I've got a baster, and I can use it to pull water up in it and then push the stuff off the leaves. I don't want to put a big filter in there with the smaller fish being in it. And I had it in there and got this cleaned up really well. And when I went to dump it out, I put a cup underneath it, because with the filter like it is, once the suction's turned off, the portion of the debris that's in the bottom will just fall back into the tank. So it really defeats the purpose to just do that. So I got a plastic cup that I set each one of them in. I've got 3 of them. And pick the cup up and dump the water a little bit, not a lot, because I don't want to dump the debris back in the aquarium. Then hold the filter up and with the cup, and take it out, take it in the bathroom and clean it out in the commode, because I don't want that down the drains here in the sink in the house. And so at any rate, one of those things too. But as you can see, what they're doing, they're going along the surface. Now, to start with, when they went to the surface, he's not really digging in as much as they did. They just took their nose and just pushed and pushed and pushed, and stuff went flying all over the place. Well, what you see is silicone that is up in. Now, I've got a filter. I don't know if I've got it here. Somewhere down here, probably. At any rate, it stands on legs, and it filters out quite a bit. So it will take most of that out. But it's going to take some time to do it, and it's ugly being in the aquarium like it is. And but at any rate, all right, I'm gonna do something with this. Please subscribe to this channel. That'll make it easy to get back to. If you have friends who have children, some of what I'm going to make is not going to be, I'm not going to talk. I may say a little bit as far as what's what and what. Mostly I'm just going to set it up and let the fish swim, and let people enjoy watching them, because I do. And it may not be something that a lot of people do. I like to go to the airport and watch airplanes land and take off. I especially like to watch the doggone SR-71 that isn't in operation anymore, because that son of a gun, once it left the ground, it went almost vertical, and it can get up like 700 feet a second. It can fly faster than a bullet. A joke, a humorous tale anyway. One of the pilots said that they went across Nebraska in 2.5 minutes. And he said, that's the best way to see Nebraska. And I don't know anybody that might have driven across Nebraska, Kansas, the flatlands. But with Nebraska, you're on 80, I think it's 80, and there's nothing there's no cities that are there. You go off of the highway. Now, I've been in almost every major city in the United States. I've been in every major city in Nebraska. I drove a truck for 31 years. I had my stomach removed back in 80, and could no longer weld. I was a welder after I stopped working as a engineer, and I got into wow, there he goes. I got into quality assurance and quality control. And I loved doing it. Didn't pay much. And so I got an opportunity to go offshore on pipeline and made good money. But I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 weeks. And sometimes I stayed out. And they'll bring another crew out after 2 weeks or at the 2 week end. And the one crew will go in for 2 weeks. So they're actually only working 2 weeks a month. Well, most of those people will go to construction sites somewhere and they'll weld those 2 weeks that they're off. And I decided, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'll just stay out. So when I could, when they'd let me, I just stayed because they washed our clothes. We had free meals. They took care of the berthing spaces, made up the beds and whatever. Showering wasn't a problem. Having our clothes and stuff, never took anything valuable out. Too many people did too many things and whatever. But at any rate, where was I going with this? I don't know. I think I started off with the pipelining, and then made enough money when the season was over. After I think it was the second year I did it. The first year I bought a truck. Got an old Tyler pipe truck that was just about wore out. Didn't have a thought about what the thing was and all the miles that was on it, but it was over 1 million miles. And leased it to interstate contract carriers. Now, with the truck being paid for and interstate contract carriers providing the trailer, there wasn't any expense as far as the trailer and stuff went. And we went and wherever and picked up freight, took it somewhere else, and got into team driving with my wife from New York out to California. The city out to a town above Los Angeles, and we had to do that within 72 hours. And that's driving. That is just going and going and going. And it was not enjoyable much. But anyway. Okay, now back to what I was saying. Please subscribe to this channel. If you have people that have children and would enjoy, please get them to look at this channel. I'll put a link on the bottom of this on the announcement on the video that tells about whatever, and then the video stands by itself. I can't advertise on the video. I can tell you about my channel. I have one channel at Ronald 3988 that has 31 ebooks on it. About to have 32. I'm working on another one, and I read part of those, first part, second part, third part, whatever, and it's free. And then they can be purchased on Smashwords. They were all published on Amazon and Smashwords, but Amazon is bad about letting people read on Kindle, because before, when you were on Amazon, they had to ask if you wanted to be on Kindle. Now it's straight Kindle, and so doesn't pay much. The person pays for doing it, and Amazon takes a portion and gives a portion, and it's not much. So I have not done anything to promote on Amazon, and can't even get the books off. They won't let me get on there to get the books off, and I want to, but anyway, I have to work on that too. At any rate, Smashwords. I would say, if you're going to read, get Mutual Transitions to start with. I had 3 different offers from 3 different talent agencies out in LA to make a movie out of that book, a film. And they asked for permission, and nothing has happened so far, and it's been months since anything. I'm going to work at possibly doing something with that. At any rate, richest man in America is found with traumatic amnesia after he'd been injured in a fall. And a man in one of the stories, Buzzard Shields, finds him, and it's on an Indian reservation that Buzzard's living on. He had done survey work for that reservation for the government. And so anyway, he's allowed to live there because, first of all, he's still in the Army Corps of Engineers. He can, I think he's got 4 years to re-up with the same rank that he had. But at any rate, there's a problem that they have, and they get separated. And the story goes on with Wilson Kramer's life. And then I wrote a book that has Buzzard Shields' life. Well, his name is the initials MAS, Math, which is what his mother wanted to give him so he would have luck. And there's the loach. Oh, I like that. I like that. He doesn't stay out long. He looks for stuff and bangs around a little bit, and then like the stripes. But at any rate, the book goes on with him being identified. He's kind of got whiskers. It's not a pointy nose. Okay. No wonder I can't find that. I'll have to look again. At any rate, goes on with his life after he's found in Denver, Colorado, getting the pudding beat out of him. And he's identified by fingerprints. And then he goes on to recapture his life and gets into the different parts of aviation and shipbuilding and all the other things he inherited from his mother and his father and his grandparents. And at any rate, mutual transitions. If you look on my YouTube channel, there's a lot of videos there, a lot. And so you just scroll down and you'll find, and then when you get to the bottom, go over to the right and you'll see arrows. Click on that one arrow on the right and it will take you down, and click on the arrow on the left, it'll take it up, so that you can go and look and see and what and everything. At any rate, that one Cory is working the plants over. He is knocking stuff all over the place. That's a good thing, but I'm going to have to get a filter in there. Okay. Oh, then I've got another book channel. It's ebooks by Ronald Walker. Those are also free. The readings that I've done, they're actually duplications in most part of what I've done on Ronald 3988. So I'll put a link to that on this channel when I do the video. And at any rate, thanks for being with me. Hope you enjoyed. Do subscribe. That helps. That you don't do anything to your computer, your reader, or anything with that subscription. The subscription is just on YouTube. You can have 14 million people subscribe to that many people on YouTube, and YouTube is just happy as can be. Mr. Beast has, I think he's got 8.5 million subscribers, but he is the premier on YouTube. And it's funny, he and a bunch of entrepreneurs went over to Africa, drilled water wells, and people are down on him thinking that he's doing this for publicity and blah blah blah. Well, fine, he is doing YouTube, but he's helping people that would not have clean water. And I didn't know until the other day, methylene blue, it was a dye that was used on carpeting and other things. And with research, they found that methylene blue would cure malaria. And so it is approved to be used by doctors to cure malaria. It also has other benefits. It also has other cons that maybe they don't know. There hadn't been enough study done to get all that, because there's no profit in somebody doing that to speak of. But I wish they would. That's one of those things too. I take it. I have problems. I got neuropathy. It helps a little bit, it seems. I haven't been taking it very long. The problem is it turns your urine blue. And so if your urine is normally yellow, if your drinking is clean and there's no dye in your food or whatever, your urine is clear. So if it's yellow like most people's, by the time it's blue, it's green in the bowl. And your urine will deposit some of that methylene blue on the bowl when you urinate. And I'm not advertising. I'm saying just check it out yourself and see what you feel about it. Go from there. At any rate, thank you. Well, if I can get it to stop. Okay. Well, it's not stopping. Okay, I'll do this.